Hi everyone, I'm Josh and welcome to Josh Wright Piano TV. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today's episode is all about how to play softer at the piano with a specific technique. This is going to help you play very delicately and gently without getting ghost notes. I was recently working on the Chopin Etude Opus 25 number 2 with a young student playing it. Such a great piece. I love this. I haven't played it in years, but I always love working on it and teaching it. At the end, we find this. And we have these last three notes that students often will ghost. So they'll go something like that. Or they might have a tendency to say, oh, I'm so scared of ghosting those or not having them come out, that's what I mean by ghosting, that I'll end up accenting it by accident. And so this little method really helps. I've alluded to this many different times on my channel, but I wanted to dedicate a video to this with kind of a visual of what's going on. The piano key dip is approximately 4/10 of an inch. So 400/1000 of an inch is Steinway standard key dip. Some key dips are shallower, like 397/1000 of an inch, and then deeper key dips are like 410/1000 of an inch. And I'm sure that we can find exceptions to even those parameters. However, let's just say 4/10 of an inch. Okay, that's very, very small. It's hard to control that when we want to play really softly because we don't have a lot to work with if we just go straight down. So a method, again, you may have heard me say this before, but I wanted to give this visual, is to stroke back on the keys. If you think about what that's doing, it's taking that 4/10 of an inch and it's stretching it out to an inch or two. And if you have a slightly flatter finger with more surface area on the key, it will give you more control over that key strike. You're taking the key. That's something that Sergei Babayan always said, is taking the key. And this concept was originally taught to me by Susan Dolmeyer, my brilliant lifelong teacher. I remember my brother was playing something by Ravel, I think, that had these I don't know if it was B flat, I can't remember the note, Oiseau triste, where at the beginning it has these in and out notation that he would go in, out. The same thing is applied in the first Chopin Ballade. In, out, in, out. By lengthening that key dip from 4/10 of an inch and putting it on a diagonal plane rather than just a straight up and down plane by stroking in or out. And generally, I always like to stroke out. The only time that I push in is when I have repeated chords like that Chopin or my brother, whatever that note was, if it was a B flat. In and out worked there. In this case of the Chopin, I'd probably just do 3 strokes out. And it's amazing how much softer you can get when you do that. So reach in toward this fall board here. This is called a fall board. And then stroke out. And I mean, I'm doing about that much from the time I start to the time I stop. And make sure your first one's loud enough so that you can I know it's marked pianissimo. It's quite amazing how much you can feel in your fingertip. I remember on a previous piano I owned, we were adjusting key dip. And I said, this feels too deep. Could we go a little more shallow? And he said, okay, sure. I'm going to put a little punching. It's a little circular piece of paper that goes onto the key rail. And he said, your fingertip will be able to detect this. It is the size of an index card, but it will feel significantly shallower. And I was like, okay, let's see if this is accurate. I don't know if I believe him. And sure enough, I was like, oh my gosh, that feels so much more shallow. It's incredible when you're playing an instrument how much sensitivity is in our fingertips, how much we can discern and how much we can control. So sometimes putting these bigger muscles and the whole mechanism to work you can really finesse how soft or loud you play. Now, this is very convenient because it's quite slow. I can't do that on every soft passage, especially, even the beginning. It's moving so fast, so I have to develop a light touch. But even at the beginning, you noticed I'm sliding out just a little in order to finesse that sound. So I hope this has been helpful. Short little video today, but something that you can put into practice, especially on slower notes or chords that you have to be really careful with. And using that heavy arm weight, but with the wrist and the hand kind of acting as a shock absorber as you stroke back, is how you avoid ghost notes. So if any of you have any questions, my email is josh@joshwrightpiano.com. If you wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button and liking this video, it really helps the channel. Thank you so much for doing that. I hate to ask, but I appreciate those of you who do it, as it helps to spread this information to as many pianists around the world as possible. I will also leave a few links for my paid courses in the description below. One of them is for pro practice, where we go into depth with 30 to 60-minute tutorials on popular repertoire pieces and exercises. There's over 500 videos in that library to date, so very big and continuously getting bigger. I'm always adding new content to that. I also have a course called the VIP Masterclass Series, where I answer a question from one of our members in video format for each week of the month, if you'd like to check out that library as well. I just wanted to say a big thank you for your support of this channel and for those courses. Those courses help to support this channel and help it to continue on, so I really appreciate your support. If any of you have any questions, again, my email is josh@joshwrightpiano.com. Have a great week. Good luck in your practice sessions.